Okay, so thank you very much for joining. Welcome to the MCT show number 8. I'm very happy to be here again, like every Friday since this lockdown situation. I think that was a new concept and it's getting traction. And I'm very happy to have as a guest today Ryan from Laidback Fitness in Rhode Island. Thank you for joining, Ryan.
Having me, Jerome.
Yeah, it was cutting off. Sorry. I was just saying that I'm very happy to have you on the show. I know you are a great MovNat advocate. You have been for quite some time, and you are also hosting certifications in your gym when we can actually host it. And so it's a pleasure for me to have you on. So thank you for your time, and we will be together for I think 1 hour or so.
Okay, yeah, it's my pleasure. Always happy to chat about MovNat, and it's great to finally interact with you. I've been following you for years on social media, so it's nice to see your face and chat.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, you're the only guest that I don't personally know, so I'm very actually happy to get to know you through this conversation. So that's why my first question to you will be, what's your background? Because I generally don't know your background. I mean, I heard many good things about you from, instructors or MCTs like Stefano and other guys. But I'm very curious in your story.
Sure. I started, doing fitness and sports growing up as a kid, and I was involved in organized sports for a long time. And in high school, I played, American football and basketball and baseball, and I played in college as well. After college, I got into triathlon because I was just wanting to, continue to move and be fit. And I did an Ironman when I was 25, and that was good, but it just wasn't for me. It wasn't right for my body. I could just feel it. And then I got into CrossFit, so I was like getting warmer with my practice. And it was actually at the CrossFit gym that somebody shared the Primal Blueprint, Mark's Daily Apple, the Primal Blueprint. And I read that in like 11 years ago, and that rocked my world. And I kind of altered my lifestyle and my movement practice at the time to a more natural movement practice. And then it was about 6 months to a year after I had read that article that One Day Elements workshop. It was 9 years ago, almost exactly 9 years ago. And it was amazing. I learned a lot. I had a lot of fun, but I was also kind of humbled. I'd always been a pretty athletic person, but there were some moves that I could not do very well, and it was humbling a little bit, which appealed to me because I like a challenge and I like to be versatile. So I started practicing MovNat like that the next day, really. And then a week later, I did my first ever Tough Mudder. It's a Tough Mudder or obstacle course race. I used all these skills that I had just learned, and I became hooked on both MovNat and obstacle course races in that 1 week time, 9 years ago. Since then, I've just made MovNat my foundation. It's also the foundation for our practice or our program at Laidback Fitness. I just became L3, actually. I'm a level 3 trainer now. Officially, I got my certificate from Danny, but I still have a ton of work to do. Thank you. Yeah, that was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And I'm proud of myself for finishing that. Thank you. And I get all my clients to embrace it. And actually, given that we're going through this pandemic, my gym is closed. All the gyms in Rhode Island are closed, and can smoothly transition to working out on their own outdoors because they have a practice and they have a great base skill set and technique kind of awareness to go out and practice. Where I think a lot of people right now who go to the standard gym have just stopped working out or they're struggling. So MovNat has been huge for me over my whole life, but certainly in the last couple months with me and my clients continuing to develop our practice.
That's awesome. Actually, right now we are in the middle of collecting a lot of testimonials from the community. Just posted on my story that we have close to 2,500 already.
Whoa.
And it's actually mind-blowing. What I'm reading is mind-blowing. It's so good and so heartwarming to see. I mean, we knew it, but it's good to see. And you're one more example. 9 years. I want to go back to this day. So what happened to this Elements Day that changed a lot of things for you?
So I did a lot of movements that I hadn't done in a long time or ever. And I was fit. I've always been pretty fit and in pretty good shape. But there were just like some moves that I couldn't do. Like I remember I muscled my way through a leg swing up that day. And just pure muscle, I'm sure you've seen those before. But seeing the instructor at the time, Clifton Harsky, do one just effortlessly, and seeing him do these things so effortlessly, it just really made me want to be better at it, because I also recognized that these moves are important in real life. Like, I started to kind of buy into the idea of real fitness or what fitness really means in Erwan's eyes, and I totally buy into that. And I also love what's been going around lately about the beach body, but what really is a beach change the program.
Yeah, sorry, Ryan, I just lost you for a second. Can you hear me? Now you're back. Wait. You're muted. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, it pretty much just came down to me being humbled by MovNat and recognizing, like, as someone who tries to grow and tries to improve myself and embraces a challenge, that this is a good challenge. I could see if I practiced this way that my body would change a lot and I'd be more, just generally physically confident and fit overall, which I always appreciated that.
So you were in the days where Clifton was the instructor, right?
Yeah, Clifton, and then Jeff Kuland did my level 1. Erwan and Vic did level 2 I went to see them for level 2, which was nice. And level 3 was just last year for me with Danny and Kellen and Kim.
Awesome. Yeah, I heard about this New Mexico experience, right?
It was amazing.
So I think for the audience that can be interesting because you have a lot of years behind you. Some people may listen to this show and newbies to MovNat. Can you tell us whether for you it changed compared to the early days? Do you see an evolution with MovNat from the Clifton and Jeff and all those guys in 2012 or something to recent years now?
I do, actually. As a company, I think MovNat's done a great job marketing and appealing to the audience that MovNat would appeal to. I think in the beginning, that part just wasn't really there. It wasn't as robust. So I'm glad to see that they're marketing well and growing the audience, which is awesome. And I also think we've done a good job kind of, scaling it back a little bit to make it a little bit more accessible to people who haven't moved in a little while. I think people get the idea with natural movement that it's fit people without shoes or shirts on, climbing trees and jumping, from rock to rock across the river, where for me personally, most of my work is on the ground, sitting, kneeling. That's like where I need most of the work. And I think that's where a lot of people need to start. It's just with the basic ground movements. So I think that's done a good job making that barrier to entry lower or less intimidating. I think we could still do work on that though, just because the nature of what we do could be intimidating to a lot of people, but we're getting better. I also think there's, I've seen more like what Kellen calls integration, or just more flowiness, more kind of less isolation of techniques and more combination, integration, and flow. I love seeing that stuff, and that's real to me. In the beginning, it seemed like a lot of the videos I saw were people moving kind of robotically. Now I see more flow and more smoothness. Maybe that was the practitioners at the time, or maybe that was just the way it was practiced. But yeah, I think MovNat's done a great job growing, getting the word out, making it more accessible. Obviously, we have more work to do, but I'm really happy with the evolution of it, and I'm proud to have stuck with it for all this time.
That's awesome. And I think you make a great point in this, what we could see before the robotic approach. I think it's very hard for people to comprehend how MovNat can be taught, or how MovNat can be done. Because if you really would like to show a flow, you would need to have a camera crew in the forest or in the woods and follow a group doing what we do, for example, in level 3, right? In level 3, I'm sure you have done a exploration, immersion, being challenged in many skills. And then you have to go back to back, for example, in Vienna, in Austria, we were the whole group in a river, walking, then doing some foot and crawl on very steep hill and going down and jumping. So in this case, we were not separating the techniques.
Right.
We were just implementing it, but it's very hard in a video, in a 1-minute Instagram or in some YouTube to actually see that. That's why, usually the best marketing tool is to say, do it,
right.
You feel it. So I think the engineering approach of having all those techniques is good, because like you said, it opens to more and more people, and then it takes, a few experienced people or with a camera crew to just showing a bit better,
Yeah, agreed. And you know what, you make a good point. It takes knowledge of many different techniques to flow, right? If you only know a couple of things, you can't really flow. But as you build your competency and your kind of catalog of techniques that you're good at, it's easy to flow, because you just go from a thing to a thing.
Well, I like the analogy with reading. When you start reading, you're not very fluent in this. You will check every word, try to pronounce okay, till you get the groove for it. So
that's a great analogy. I've never heard that one. I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have one of my sons is 6, and he's right in that stage where he's just starting to kind of smooth things out and put a few words together. But you're so right. He's just he's a beginner reader.
Correct. Yeah. In the meantime, I want to remind everybody who's connected that you can still write your questions. Okay, I see a comment from Adam, who just said, I agree, it is much more accessible than 8 years ago. So I think we all agree on this, and we have to give props to Danny on that, Danny Clark, because he really did a great job in really scaling down and breaking down all those techniques and putting them in every single level. back then I remember the level 1 was much more difficult, I would say, than it is now. And I think it's correct now, you know. And putting more techniques into level 2 allows the weekend to be way more chill, to get to know better the people and not just rushing through technique. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, I have to say shout out to Danny. When Danny became the program director, it was very noticeable. Like it was like a shot in the arm for the MovNat evolution is the best way I could put it. Like he's really done a great job in all of the different video series he's put out. I mean, yeah, Danny's really been awesome to help just get MovNat rolling and build up that. Okay.
The connection stopped. Can you hear me, Ryan?
Sorry, Jerome. Yeah, I can hear you great. I'm sorry.
No problem, no problem. As long as you are back online, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, about Danny, I remember this little story that Erwan told us. You will see this new guy coming. You know, I know my flaws, I know my strength, and I know that Danny can really help us on my flaws. And that was the mark of a true leader, to be able to recognize where it was lacking and being able to fill the gap, I would say, with someone who has the skills for it. And
Yeah.
since then, yeah, 2015, I'm very happy to see, like I said, 2,500 testimonials. We wouldn't get that through the, you know, from the time that the workshops were very hard, you know. I don't know if you can hear, there is a cat next to me. It's okay. Oh, you broke up again. Ryan, can you hear me? Connection is not so great today.
Jerome, I'm really sorry, man. I mean, I can see you great.
Okay, well, right now it's okay. It's maybe me, you know. Look, the whole world is on Zoom now, less and less. But I think we have a peak time, you know, globally. Like Europe, US, everybody is using the bandwidth. Hey, hello. How are you?
This is my beginner reader pro MovNatter Luke right here.
Luke, how are you?
This is Luke. This is Jerome.
Hi, Jerome.
And Luke has taught me a lot about natural movement in his lifetime.
Well,
I gotta tell you.
What was the technique he taught you the best?
Oof, that's a tough one. He's excellent at jumping. Actually, probably running. I took a video of him running, and I use that as an example for my clients. I just show it in slow-mo, and he runs perfectly. Of course he does, right? He's only 6. So yeah, I use him. Step-ups. He's also really good at step-ups.
Nice.
Yeah. So actually, going back to your point about accessibility and kind of scaling things back, as a coach and a trainer, seeing, you know, Luke and my other younger son Jack just develop in their movement has helped me kind of do better regressions in the gym. You know, because it occurred to me one day years ago, like, oh, the first part of crawling is just like lifting your head up.
Are you sweating?
You know, I am sweating hard.
I can feel it.
Thanks. Sorry. I just we do a video workout at 9 a.m. and I finished and jumped in the cold shower, but
you know, children are brutally honest.
They are, yes. Well, that was why I was trying to isolate myself in a separate room, but oh well.
Hey, look, this is life, right? This is what we call real fitness, real life. This is not some kind of weird thing, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't worry
absolutely.
about it.
And
I'm
I mean,
actually happy that you bring your son here, and we can discuss, you know, what it is to have kids around and still being able to move and inspire and lead by example. Uh,
uh,
do you plan on having a special school for them? Like, are you afraid of sitting for them too much? What do you think about
yeah.
the whole thing?
You know, um, so he's only in kindergarten at the moment, but yeah, I've considered it. I think we're just going to stick with the public school system, at least to start, see how it goes. But when he's here, we just let him be a kid, and we have a lot of different places for him to play and explore. But that's definitely a concern, because yeah, that's usually when things start to go bad, right? Like 7 years old, when kids are sitting on a desk or at a desk all day. So we shall see. But when he's here, and right now he's not at school, he's getting a lot of movement time for sure.
Yeah, this
But
is
can you open the door for her, please? Open the door for Simone. Quick.
yeah, this is a topic that is of a concern for us. That we want MovNat to be also backed up by science, even though, you know, we don't really need science because we have so many great results. But it's always nice to think about this. And you mentioned the what is the age where school hinders performance or cripples performance. Hey, second
Yeah,
one,
this is the younger ones. This is Jack. Say hi,
Jack. How are you, Jack?
Jack.
You're
Jack
chilling
is off.
shirtless, classy shirtless.
He's the man. And we're expecting a daughter in a few months, so we're gonna have our hands full around here.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, just more opportunity to learn. And I have to say, MovNat has definitely helped me become a better dad. Not just because I play a lot with my kids and all that, just all the other principles of MovNat, adaptability, versatility, practical, all that stuff. It just all translates to parenthood for sure. So for all the people who are thinking about having kids or who have kids and haven't done MovNat, get into it. It'll make you a better parent.
Nah, that's so good to hear. Because when I was thinking about science, I was thinking that a lot of studies are showing that from third grade or fourth grade, the capacity, you know, decreases because of so many hours sitting, and then because of also what you just mentioned, the parents are not ready for action. So when it's time for action, go time, you know, let's say in the playground, they will see their kids balancing or jumping at height from height, and they are afraid and they are holding their hands, and you know the kids, they mimic their parents, so they are like, if they see a scared face, they will be scared as well, and they will ask their mommy or the puppy to hold their hands, while I'm sure you're like, let's see how it goes, you know. And they will see you
Yeah.
also perform a foot and crawl at height or something. So we inspire them from a young age. So I would love to see more
Absolutely.
studies backing up this kind of stuff.
I agree too. That would help me too personally in the playground, because I'm that parent who, you know, I'm there, but I let my kid, you know, do whatever he wants to do. It may appear dangerous to some, but you know, I'm pretty familiar with the risk danger matrix. So I'm making those assessments as I see my kid, you know, doing something, and I definitely get the look from other parents at times. But I will just, if anyone ever says something, I'll just politely say, hey, I'm a trained professional. I know what I'm doing. Or I'll just say, you know what, maybe it looks dangerous to you, but that is definitely within his ability, as crazy as that sounds. And I'm just going to let him explore that. The other thing I also say is, you know, kids don't want to get hurt. They don't want to fall and hurt themselves. And I watch my sons be very cautious at times, balancing or climbing up something. I can see them recognize the danger and the risk, and I can see them adjust. So it's intuitive. Like, no, we don't want to get hurt. So while I don't want to be irresponsible, I definitely give them space to just test themselves and see what they're capable of. And kids just naturally do that all the time. They're always testing themselves, pushing themselves. I mean, Luke all the time will be like, let me see if I can jump to that rock now, Dad, which is maybe a foot farther. Or I'm going to try to hold my breath for 20 seconds now instead of 15. Like that I swear to God, I am not that dad who's like, more, harder, faster. I just let them go. But I think by doing that, they maybe have the space to push themselves and they feel like they can. So that's all I try to do on the playground is like give them the space, let them know, hey, I'm here if you need me, but you can do that. You know, you can do it. You got it. Go for it. So,
but you know, the most injuries we see in playgrounds are not because kids are balancing or jumping, rolling, crawling. It's because they are riding a bike, or having rollers, you know, or skates, skateboards, stuff like things that are added to their basic equipment, you know,
right.
from wheels. And you add wheels, you add whatever, you know, the wind, and so. And then you get a recipe for disaster because they have to deal with an extra element out of their body. But first of all, you know, they should get used to moving their own body, and they, like you said, they know what's the danger. I think the guy who's doing the best job in advertising it is Erwan Lepore, you know, on his Instagram page. He's always showing his kids, you know, jumping from rock to rock and being barefoot everywhere. On his page, Natural Movement, you can see so many examples of this. And basically, it's like a journal when we can see his kids growing, you know, the furry kids, feather in the sky, and they, you know, they are, like you said, trained professionals already.
Yeah. And actually, just from a business standpoint, for the gym owners out there, MovNat is a great fit for kids. I mean, kids are like the models of natural movement. So we started doing kids classes about 5 or 6 years ago, and kids' birthday parties, and that is actually the biggest revenue generator in the gym. It's our kids classes and our kids' birthday parties. We have adult classes. We do a bunch of adult programs and personal training, but the biggest thing, the biggest draw, is kids. And just one more thing about kids, while I think Natural Movement and MovNat those are great names, I don't know if they like speak to kids as well. So we call it ninja. It's just ninja skills or ninja training. You'll have kids lining up at your door, and you just teach them MovNat. Call it ninja, call it MovNat, like, you know, here and there, to do it, or call it monkeying around. Cool, Bernardo. But yeah, they really are naturals, and parents are way more likely to spend money on their kids' movement and fitness than their own. It's just unfortunately the way of the world, or at least the way of the world here in America. So from a business perspective, offering kids classes just makes a lot of sense.
No, that's great, and I'm glad. You know, you said last thing about kids, but I'm so glad that you are spending time on this, because in the previous shows we didn't really talk about, you know, the kids and how we manage them, how we rise them. So it's good to spend some time on it, and I'm glad also that you are talking about your gym, because it's good that for people to know you and who you are. I mean, you mentioned level 1, level 2, you're level 3. Tell us about the gym. How did you build it and how did it go? So tell us a bit about the history and what you're doing now.
Sure. So I started that gym almost exactly 10 years ago. I actually quit my job like you, Jerome. I worked as an engineer and a construction manager for 6 years in big construction projects. And I just became so kind of fired up about the primal lifestyle and natural movement that I quit my job. I had a good job too. I used to make some pretty good money. But I just quit. I felt like a burning desire to go for it. So that was in 2010. I just started doing personal training. Shortly thereafter, I did my MovNat and my Tough Mudder weekend, and that kind of changed how we do. We did our programming. We started to offer group classes. American Ninja Warrior for the first time, and I mean that like rocked my world. I was so fired up about it. But when I was watching it, I was like, oh, I know that move. They're all natural movement techniques. They're applied to some pretty intense obstacles. But I'm like, I could do that. So I just started building obstacles for our gym. I mean, I had a background in construction. I started building obstacles. And then one day, one of my clients said, you should do kids parties, because we kind of had this now obstacle gym. Like, we started doing some kids parties. It became very popular very quickly. And then we expanded to a 2-room. So our first room was 2,000 square feet. We added a 3,000 square foot room next to it that was just all obstacles. And that's when our business really expanded quite a bit and kind of blew up. And then we were able to offer kids classes and adult classes at the same time. Our weekends went from kind of being dead to full of birthday parties. And now, actually, given the pandemic going on, I'm actually building like rigs for people in their backyards. I'm building monkey bars, salmon ladders, ring traverses, and I'm building rigs in people's backyards to keep myself busy while the gym is down. And well, of course, we're also doing virtual training for our clients, but yeah, I'm building rigs for people. So I get to apply the engineering construction stuff and the natural movement skills all in one.
That's a great story, man. What I want to do from this show, I told this already to a few people, is to take some extracts from each show, and we would put it on our YouTube channel. And definitely the kid story and what you're doing is one thing that I would highlight from this conversation. And like you said, quitting, jobs that have a good salary is a mark that you have a bigger goal, a deeper goal.
Yes.
And that's props to you for that, because I know firsthand that it's not easy to leave a nice paycheck and to have uncertainty and counting on the next clients. But, want to have a vision, you go for it. So I know quite a few people now in the MovNat community that have done that with a very nice job. So it shows that some people who develop an engineering background, they have jobs like this, can change their mind and can change their way to talk. Can you hear me?
You broke up a little bit, but I can hear you now. Yep.
Yeah, cool. So anyway, so thank you for this explanation. So you are actually building things for people now.
Yes.
How do you manage your time, and how do you manage your time by building this, but also coaching them, because I'm sure they want to be coached as well. How do you do that?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
you make time.
I have no idea.
Sleepless nights?
I just build it in, man. I don't know. I just figure it out. I've kind of always liked to juggle multiple projects at once. I was like, when I was a construction manager, I was running multiple projects at once. And I think that's just like a thing I've taken with me in life. So like a typical day, I get up and I do my virtual workout for my clients, which is at 9 a.m. And then I go to work, either building. I do personally build the stuff. I saw Krista's question. I am digging holes and setting posts and throwing up big timbers up there for people. Again, it's like I really enjoy it. So I get to work outside and build something that's very gratifying to me. I'm probably in the best shape I've been in a few months because I've just been doing all these bonus reps by digging and hauling and all that stuff. And then, yeah, I have like a set day or two that I call on my clients. I follow up with them and just stay connected to them. If I can touch my personal training clients once a week, and like they're good, they have homework, and they're also following our virtual program for our class members. And then, yeah, while I'm building these rigs for people, I'm just figuring out what the kids like. And then, you know, when I watch them go, I'm offering them tips. But kids are pros, man. They just figure it out. If I need to help them, I will. But I just try to keep my cues to them very simple, and just have them try it again and make it better. So yeah, I don't know how it just seems to work out. I don't have a set.
How do you?
Good answer for you.
What is from your experience? What is the equipment the most popular? I would say. What people are asking you to build for them?
The most popular thing I'm building is adjustable monkey bars or adjustable traverse bars. So I like a lot of them are basic, but I'll just build a rectangle. Say it's like 5 feet wide or like 1.5 meters wide by 12 feet long. Which is, what is that? Like 4 meters, 1 by 4. And it'll just be a rectangular frame, and in between the wood are pipes that are on fittings that can slide. So if I'm doing a traverse, I can reach like 1 foot, or I can slide that out and make it a farther reach. Or we can do swing offs or laches. You can make it, you can go 4 foot, you can go 2 meter, 3 meter. You can go crazy with that if you want. So that's probably the most popular. That also allows people to hang things from the monkey bars if they want to do more technical grips like cannonballs or just like harder things, nunchucks.
That's, man, I feel like a kid. I want to play with the, in your backyard. It sounds like fun.
Oh yeah, it is. And you look at the world differently when you do natural movement. And that's just, I just started building things to do our techniques on. And it just became a really fun place to hang out and super popular with kids.
Most of my training I've done for level 1, level 2, even level 3 was in a kid playground.
I've seen your videos.
I use this park so much, and you have all you need basically,
Mm-hmm.
So, and have you been in touch with Eric Brown?
Through social media, I've seen a lot of what he's been doing. Yeah,
because,
he's got a nice in his backyard.
Yeah, I was mentioning this because of this. I know Eric from 2015, and backyard was kind of empty. And now, if you do the before after picture, the guy put on some work. So you have respect for this work. Do you see the quality of it?
Oh yeah, Eric, great job. It looks very good. High quality, looks strong, and obviously he's a great mover and he puts it to very good use. Yeah, he and I have actually exchanged, I think, some emails and messages about how to build stuff and things. So yeah, props to him. He's definitely one of my inspirations out there.
Yeah, he's one of my inspirations too. A former Navy SEAL instructor, and he came very, very humble in level 2 and level 3. And then last time he was teaching us the MovNat Aquatics with Vic. So he was helping Vic on a lot of the tests. So yeah, you can see the skills and always a chill demeanor. Again, he's a perfect fit for MovNat. Again, someone who has a low ego, good confidence, but very chill and very happy to be together.
Yeah, and how about a former Navy SEAL, so a guy who knows a thing or two about fitness and movement and situational preparedness, aligns himself with MovNat. I think that says something about the system that we're all practicing here.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So business-wise, I'm back on this COVID
Mhm.
stuff. Um, how how much have you been hit in your area? I think you're in Rhode Island, so it's Massachusetts. So
Uh,
how is
Actually, Rhode Island's its own state. It's the smallest state in the United States, and it is
okay?
yeah, It's just south of Massachusetts, between New York City and Boston. It's a great place to be, but we are completely shut down. We can't even do classes outside.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So what we have done as a company has we've loaned equipment to all of our monthly members, and we have a significant amount of monthly members who continue to pay their monthly membership because we have an awesome community of people. I'm very grateful for that, and I think that's another thing that our gym has. I know a lot of gyms have communities. Ours is the best, obviously, but we have a community of people who can adapt to this situation. So we lent them equipment like balance beams and kettlebells and bands. We have a virtual program that we're doing that they have access to every day. I'm still checking in with my personal training clients and giving them a program. And then unfortunately I've had to lay off all my staff. But I have personally kept busy and kept some additional income coming in via this backyard ninja rig division that we created in the last month or two. And now we're just waiting. I think we're a few weeks away from being able to do private training with lots of restrictions. And also I think we're getting close to doing classes outdoors. I just think we're still kind of a ways away from indoor classes, especially with kids and birthday parties. That's still going to be a ways away, unfortunately. So I kind of have a summer of building planned for myself. That's what I think I'm going to do, is like build all summer. Hopefully I can train a couple of my staff members to build and help me kind of just pump out some more rigs and just knock them out. And then when we're back, I know we're gonna go back and hit the ground running, because people miss us a lot, and people need us. That it's sad to be away from them, but it makes me feel good to hear so many people say how much they miss us and how much they realize that they need this in their lives. So it makes me feel good that they miss me, and I miss them too. But I'd really like to just get back to normal as soon as possible. Just because, this is great. I like waking up late. I don't wake up at 4 a.m. anymore. I wake up at like 6. I got coffee by myself in the quiet, in a quiet house, and then my kids roll down and I hang out with them, and then I go to work. So I feel very bad for the people who it's had a negative impact on, and this is a very serious virus. But for me personally, it's actually been a good thing. I've gotten way more quality time with my kids. I've gotten to kind of build this new division of our business. Our clients have realized that they love us and they need us. So it's been good for me. Again, I feel very bad, and my heart goes out to those who've lost loved ones. But the coronavirus has been overall a positive thing for me.
Okay, yeah, that has been the main theme of all those interviews since the lockdown. At the beginning, I would have thought that people would have their head down and be like, okay, that's very terrible. But at the same time, I'm not very surprised by the adaptation level that the MovNat community has. And most of the time I heard what you just said, which is actually that was a good thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I could improve. I could spend time more efficiently. We talk about efficiency, not only in the movement, but in your way of thinking. You're an engineer as well, so you have this mindset already to use time the best way you can, and not, crumble under pressure, or because you have a dramatic event in front of you. And many of previous interviewees have said that. And I noticed it for myself too. I just posted today about that quick training video, and I realized that once the park was open again and I could test my skills on
Ah.
after 2 months, I felt better, you know. So, and what you said about your clients missing you, I think that's a great testimonial of quality, you know. Uh, do you think you have lost clients or you will gain clients from this period?
So, in the long term, we're going to gain. So we had about 50 group clients on a monthly basis, on a monthly like automatic monthly basis. We lost 5 of them, but we've kept 45. So I'm very happy with that. I mean, 10%, and those people lost their job. It was very like right off the bat, they got laid off and they cut us out, and I totally understand. However, all of our people who haven't been able to come to the gym, who've been going outside and working out, and maybe have like started walking with a neighbor or a friend, they're going to bring more people back to the gym for us. And while it's going to be a slightly different model, I think when we go back to operations, we're just going to have to adapt a little bit. I think we're going to be able to do business a little bit more efficiently, and I think we'll be more profitable once we adapt to the new protocol with the COVID-19 protocol.
Okay. Well, I'm happy for you because I know how hard it is. You know, a lot of gyms are struggling, unfortunately. And I know it's not an easy business to be in, like I would say restaurants or bars, that you have to do a lot of hours and you live paycheck to paycheck, and it's very hard, and people don't realize how much they miss it, you know, when they are gone, you know.
Right.
So
yeah, and my advice to gym owners out there who are like thinking about reopening and what that looks like, private training by appointment, that should open up soon, and that's profitable and kind of reliable. And encourage all of your current clients to consider private training, and also consider reserving a spot in class or pre-booking or making an appointment. It works so well both ways. If you make an appointment as a client, you're more likely to work out than if you didn't make an appointment. And if a client makes an appointment, then you as a gym owner know you can kind of rely on that appointment and that revenue. And then, so I would try to, if you're not already, to get more appointments booked on your schedule and have that be more of a thing. Even with the class members, make them reserve their spot online. That's what we're going to do. We kind of have to as part of the new protocol, because we have to now like track everyone who goes into the gym. So we are requiring that people reserve online once we start booking, doing our thing again. But yeah, I would say everybody should just try to move to more of an appointment-based, smaller group model. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of downsize our group training just a little bit and try to get more people to do the appointment-based, private or small group training.
So it means more hours for you to do.
It'll be more hours for me and my team. But I think we're going to provide a better service, and we get paid more, for the private training than the group training. And the group training is great. The community aspect is great. It's just that is such a grind, and that's like where most gyms struggle, is because most gyms get most of their income from group training for adults, and that's just a tough grind. We get most of our income.
How so?
So there's so much competition in the adult fitness world. Back to the thing about kids, people will spend money on their kids before themselves. As soon as something happens to a family financially, they're going to cut out their, recreational spending, which is going to be, unfortunately, the parents' gym memberships. they're going to cut that out way before they cut out their kids' ninja class or their kids' gymnastics lessons or soccer practice or anything like that. Sorry, I kind of forgot what I was talking about there for a second, but
No,
anyway.
I was talking about the big groups, how hard it is to.
Oh, right. And so it's competition. It's, if anything happens, people just drop it. And keeping adults motivated is just really hard. And bringing in new people is super hard. The cost to do that. So, yeah, private training has always been a really good income generator for me. And then the kids' classes, I just can't believe how popular they became. Thanks to American Ninja Warrior, thanks to Spartan Race and Tough Mudder, thanks to MovNat, of course. But yeah, it's a way more kind of reliable source of income. It's less of a grind. And especially as a natural movement facility, that's kind of a niche that doesn't appeal to the masses yet, unfortunately. Although it should, it doesn't. Not yet, or not to the extent that I would like to see it.
So that's the we reached the last 5 minutes, and I want to open to questions, and it's directly related to some of the questions. But first of all, I want to, the kids crying in the background make me think about the story that Erwan was saying about meditation, when he was saying that it's all nice to do a yoga class or a meditation hour, in the dark with some incense, with a candle and some nice music on. But the real Zen energy is coming from your inner strength when you are able to do that while your kids are going wild.
Yes, it is. It is. Yes, there's lots of deep breaths that have to happen as a parent, and yes, lots of the meditation intervals are short.
A lot of abdominal breathing, right?
Yes. I saw a question just pop up from someone, I forget who it was, but they asked if we do parents and kids classes. We tried that a few times. It just unfortunately was not successful. It may be in different communities or in different places. It didn't work for us. What we have done, though, we have aligned our schedule where there's a kids class going on in this room and there's an adult class going on in the other room, so people can bring their kid to class and go take one for themselves. And we have a decent amount of people who take us up on that. Not as much as you would expect, like 10 to 15% of our ninja parents take classes with us. You would think it'd be more, because the hardest part of working out is getting to the gym, but it's just, I don't know. I don't think they go to our gym to work out. I don't think they have that mindset. They go to our gym to just drop their kids off. But that has helped a little bit. But unfortunately, no, the family fitness classes didn't work out for us.
Now that's a big leap for them, to be able to go from watching their kids and be like, okay, I can be a kid again. That will take some time,
Yeah.
So so that was a question from Nigel, actually, who said this. Let me go through some questions from Adam. Adam is saying, would you consider making the build plans of these rigs available for those of us without a construction background?
Absolutely. I would be happy to share my plans on MovNat 6060 or the MovNat community page, whatever the MCT page. I'll do it all. I'll take a few pictures, and I'll take some pictures of my sketches. And if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to be a resource for that. Because at least where I'm at, that's kind of the only way I'm really going to be making money for the next couple months. I mean, besides our adult group members who continue to pay their membership, which I'm super grateful for, and I'm really happy to just continue to serve them in this capacity. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good exercise too. You're digging holes you're carrying heavy stuff, you're squatting, you're kneeling, you're climbing things at times. It's awesome. So I'll be happy to post that up.
That's very nice of you. I would just ask the community, because the group has changed from MovNat 6060 to MovNat Community.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of members, and since we changed the name, I think people, they realize, oh, that's the big group. That 6060 was kind of strange for some people. So anyway, so I would ask this community to at least give you credit if they share those plans to other people, because that's totally normal.
Yes, Ryan McGowan Designs.
Exactly. Represent. We have another question from Elizabeth. She's saying, what do your customers think about MovNat? What are their expectations before starting classes? And what is their vision afterwards? Big question.
Yes, very good question. In the beginning, people think they're going to be, barefooted, shirtless, and running around the woods, or they think, why would I do that? Am I going to get a six-pack doing that? So a lot of, I think in the beginning, people just don't really know what it is, or they're unsure of like how it works or what it is. But once they get into it, once they start to like make some progressions in there and kind of see like where the system can go, they become hooked. And I've had a bunch of my clients over the years become level 1 and or level 2 certified just because they wanted to push their own practice. And then, all it takes is just a real. Unfortunately, a lot of those situations like don't present themselves in modern real life because, well, most of us can just get by just sitting in our car and then sitting at a desk and then going back home. But that's why I love obstacle course races, because you have to get over a wall or over the monkey bars or crawl through that thing. So you have to use these techniques. Whether or not you know you're using them is a different story. For our people who train for obstacle course races, man, I wish you guys could see our team. We look like badasses because we're just ripping through obstacles, making them look pretty easy, because we're so well trained. We have a technique for just about every situation that an obstacle course will present to us. So I hope that wasn't too long of an answer, but I guess I would say in the beginning, they don't really know what it is, or they're unsure how it would fit into their lives. But once they get it and they've used it, they're hooked.
That's awesome. Last question. Any preference on making your outdoors obstacles permanent or movable, changeable?
I always favor adaptability, versatility. So I make things that are, I just build like modules that can be transformed. And they are all technically a temporary recreational structure. That's just according to the Rhode Island I believe it's the Rhode Island Building Code or the National Building Code. It can't be permanent, although I'm digging holes and putting concrete in those holes. It's considered a temporary structure. So word it that way in your contracts if you need to. But if it had to be adjusted, I make it so I could raise the whole frame pretty easily and adapt to everything pretty easily. It's got to be adaptable.
That's awesome. So thank you. The hour went by really fast, which means we had a great conversation. I really appreciate it, and it's so nice to get to know you, Ryan. You're a great guy, a great family man, and I respect that. So any final message you would like to give to the audience, and where can people find you?
Sure. People can find me at laidbackfitness.com or Facebook, Instagram at Laidback Fitness. My final, I guess, parting message to you guys, and you probably heard it before, would be this is a practice, and to just consider this a practice and and you're your own project. I was thinking about that earlier. Like, I used to be a project manager. That was my title in the construction world. And when I kind of made like myself my own project, and kind of developed a growth mindset, that's when I feel like I really kind of grew as a person, and I just, a lot of things in my life seemed to improve when I took that mindset. So that growth mindset is super key. And actually Erwan said this to us all. I believe he said this in the level 3 in New Mexico. If someone's out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but he said every rep is done with the intention to grow. And I just love that. I love that. We kind of like, we had a saying in the gym, no sloppy reps. That was like our saying, because I'm sure we all have seen sloppy reps and people tend to do sloppy reps. So he put it way more eloquently than me when he said, every rep is done with the intention to grow. I'll leave it at that.
Well, I think we can finish on this then. Thank you very much, Ryan. It was a pleasure. Thank you to all of you that joined the chat and with your awesome questions. So thank you, Ryan. It was a pleasure, and I hope we will be able to meet in person in any event somewhere.
Thank you, Jerome. Yes, it was great to finally chat with you. And yes, I hope we can do it in person soon.
All right, right on. Thank you, Ryan. Get back to the kids before they go. And this video will be available on YouTube soon. As usual, I will share it to the MCT group. Okay? So you will be able to also share it to your community. I will put it on a YouTube format very soon, right after. Okay?
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Jerome. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.